we got to talk about this Exorcist trailer.
All right.
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Abigail, you didn't see it before the theater today, though.
No, the theater was my first time.
And I told you, like, hey, they're gonna play the Exorcist trailer. We need to pay attention.
Yeah, you technically hyped me up for it. I was like, oh, cool. I will know as soon as this trailer starts. It will be chilling.
And then there was multiple trailers that came on, and she was going, "Is this the Exorcist?" Like the Nun 2.
Oh, that movie.
And
looks
then
awful.
there's
Looks-
what?
Nothing.
No, say it.
It looks better than The Exorcist.
Oh,
Nun 2.
Nun 2,
Yes.
Cruise Control. But then there was like another horror movie, like another Blumhouse something or another. I don't know. But anyways, okay. Jacob, let me start with you.
Okay.
Give me a little bit. Where are you on The Exorcist as a franchise?
As a franchise, it's not the
I like
best.
that. I like that
It
noise.
doesn't have the best ratio of good to bad. I think The Exorcist is it's either the best or it's the second best horror movie of all time, and that's that's not my opinion. It just is. But then it's got a really, really bad sequel. And then the second sequel, the third film, is also really, really good. And it was close to the writer's vision. But then there's like these two prequels that are weird. There's a TV series that's fucking weird and shit. I don't know. It's like, as a franchise, I think it doesn't work that great. As one film, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah. I believe that. I agree. The Exorcist is, to me, it's I mean, it's weird when people ask me what my favorite horror movie is of all time. I don't often say The Exorcist. I normally would say Halloween, the original, or Nightmare on Elm Street, or Scream. But The Exorcist kind of exists on a plane of existence as a film that it's an immaculately made movie. It was a cultural phenomenon. It is fucking scary. I mean, it really is a scary, scary movie. There's not many movies that are actually, like, movies can be really gross or really whatever, but it is like, there's very few movies I've ever seen that
it's troubling. That's the word
troubling.
you're looking for. Like
Unsettling.
actually unsettling.
And Rosemary's Baby's a little bit like that. Do you agree?
Yeah, but it's way tamer. Rosemary's Baby is maybe because of the time period. It's
Rosemary's Baby is subtle. It's very
so
subtle.
light. It's like the lightest of all drinks or of all movies. Like it's not a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
But it's great and it's terrifying. And the book, like with you get psychologically wrapped up in being pregnant with the devil's baby. And I actually read the book, or listened to it rather, on a trip, and I loved it. But it doesn't have that. It's not nearly as like deeply upsetting and visually upsetting as
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I've never seen any of the other Exorcist. I've never seen Exorcist 2 or 3, and I think our plan is to.
But yeah, we can go ahead and make that declaration.
Let's do it.
This movie comes out October, I think, the 13th, which is a Friday, the 13th.
Very good.
And I am going to rewatch. I have seen The Exorcist and The Exorcist 3 many times, but I'm going to rewatch all of them. I'm going to watch part 2, as hard as it is, and then I'm going to rewatch the 2 prequels that came out, and I'm also going to watch I forget the name, but I think I was telling you about this the other day. There is a movie about the astronaut from the first movie.
Right. Which is so weird.
And I want to see that. Even though it's just kind of Exorcist adjacent and it's just one character from that movie, has nothing I don't think it has anything to do with possession or anything, but I'm going to watch that too. And I'm just going to rewatch everything in preparation for Believer.
Right. Abby, where are you on the original?
The subject matter is like deeply disturbing and close to home for me a little bit. So I honestly have it's not my go-to to watch, but it's one that I respect above a lot of other horror movies. Like I recognize the importance and like how influential and how much of a lightning in the bottle type of effect happened with that movie.
Yeah.
But no, it's not something that I would like say I go back and like have fun watching. It's a terrifying watch for me.
Right.
It's very real and visceral and like,
But also, deep in the bowels of YHS history, I believe The Exorcist and Linda Blair is a through line.
mhm.
I implore everybody to go into the YHS archives and find the entire Linda Blair epic. I think we should make a documentary about that.
We should, yeah.
We should. Like,
Yeah.
The saga of Linda Blair, yeah.
yeah. And I don't think it's over. I think there might be a legacy sequel.
It's just beginning.
Believer. Believer. So Abby, let's set the stage a little bit here. Exorcist Believer is the legacy sequel. It's doing the thing that all these it's what? Terminator, Dark Fate, Halloween.
Yeah.
It's connected to the first. It's a direct sequel to the first movie, seemingly ignoring any other canon that came out.
But we're going back to Reagan's room, basically. Like, it's
going back.
Yeah, we're going back to the firehouse.
Reagan
going back to the Stanley Hotel.
Reagan is like an NRA mom. She's been training for the return of the demon her whole life. No, I'm just kidding. That might be the story, but that's not what's in the trailer. But Abby,
why did you tell me my grandfather was a payman?
Abby, walk me through the reaction to this trailer in the theater.
I was caught off guard when I realized that the music that was kind of cutting in was the Exorcist piano sound, because the first couple scenes of this trailer, I was like, oh, this is just a dumb Blumhouse movie that's going to be about two little girls, and it kind of feels like it's like it showed so much. For one thing, it felt goofy and silly, and like it was a kind of a bumbling around type of trailer. The lightning is striking right now, and I think it's Linda Blair. So
she's returned.
If you can hear, if we cut out, but yeah, I thought it was a literal, like a laughable, goofy, over the top trailer. The person sitting next to me was literally shouting, "That looks terrible!" after the trailer ended. I was almost like offended by it. Like, it just felt really stupid.
Yeah. So Exorcist Believer is this is the part that breaks my heart. The team behind this movie, David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, these are our guys. Righteous Gemstones is the best television on television.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah,
is it not?
I completely agree.
I agree.
And these are very capable filmmakers. And like, Jake, where are you on the Halloween remakes that they did?
Oh, they're pretty. I think they're bad. I don't like those either. And I felt this same way when those came out. I was like, oh man, like I trusted these guys. I just think horror isn't their thing. Like, maybe they love it, and I believe, when they talk about how much respect they have for it. But I just think it's not their thing as far as making it. I do not think the Halloween movies were very good. There was things in them that was fun, but overall I didn't like any of them. All three of them, I disliked them.
Right.
And I mean, I don't think any of us had we reviewed all three of those, and none of us were like in love with them. Like, you might have liked them more than I did, but none of us were like, these are amazing.
Yeah, I liked the first one. I did not think it was, Jake, we talked about this recently about how come X looks so good as a film? Like,
it's a visionary horror director, and instead of directors who enjoy horror movies and want badly to do their own, but are actually better at doing comedy.
I just feel like, I feel like there's an aesthetic that the famous 1970s movies in horror, like Exorcist, like Halloween, have, that I think like this Exorcist trailer does not recapture it. Like even in like the slightest for me.
No, it feels exactly what Abby just said. It feels like a Blumhouse, nice and shiny, like the Blumhouse movies have a real what is the word? Like none of them feel
Shiny
like
veneer.
yeah, none of them feel real. It's like, cool, look at this set we're on. Everything's nice and lit, and none of it feels like you're in the real world. Definitely this trailer. I was like, the acting seems weird. Everything about it seems artificial, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't give you a good feeling.
By the end of the trailer, when they're showing the shots of the two girls looking up and like posing for the
Good
photo
timing,
shoots,
by the way.
yeah, like doing their selfie series, those moments were like, just I'm like, this is like kind of disrespectful to The Exorcist.